Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everyone, to the 3POA podcast, episode 99. One episode away from the big 100, from triple digits, and from giving away a HasLab Dragonfly on the show. It's happening. I'm your host, LaserPants, also known as Ryan. I am joined, not yet by Bobby. He'll be here in a minute. He's running a little bit late. He's got the kids all to himself tonight, so we'll let him take care of that. But in the meantime, we'll bring in the most toxic hater in all of the Lord scale YouTube tubers. It's Chad. What's going on, Chad? How you doing?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Are we gonna hashtag bring back Fat Chad tonight? Can we?
Oh, I don't know. That's I mean, Maximilian's there. You probably just put that bug in his ear. So thanks for that. And it was I miss Fat Chad. That's what.
Oh, I thought it was bring back Fat Chad.
No, I miss Fat Chad. Yeah.
Hey, Chad, you like going to Texas?
Yeah. You know, and just to celebrate the fact that we're going to Texas, I wore my Bucky's Texas shirt that I picked up on my way out from last year's DFW G.I. Joe show.
Bucky's.
Are you going to Texas?
I am going to Texas just to go to Bucky's, though.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
fly down for that.
These nuts. Bucky's these.
No, man, we're going to the DFW G.I. Joe action and G.I. Joe and action figure show. That's a mouthful, man.
2025.
Yeah. And tonight we have the showrunner, G.I. Joe, Greg Brown. Welcome, Greg, to the show. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're not too stressed out right now. I know you got a lot going on.
I'm on a lot of drugs, fellas.
He's like, I don't care.
How hard is it to coordinate and put together a con like the G.I. Joe and action figure show?
It's pretty nuts. This year was complicated a little bit because the person we've been working with for the past year, about 3 weeks ago, he goes, "Hey, Friday's my last day. Crystal's going to be managing it from here on out." And so I thought, okay, groovy. So
good time to do that.
Yeah, we're going to meet with her and the next week and just kind of, finalize some things, catch her up on everything. And she pretty much started fresh. We had to redraw the entire floor plan again. We had to redraw the entire panel room. We had to draw the workshops. We had to redraw which rooms were being used for what tables were going where. So yeah, stuff that I thought I had done 6 months ago, we did. We just finished up yesterday. So,
but I mean, you're making the show better. Everyone's going to have a great time.
Well,
right?
with both of you guys being there, I can't get any better than that. So,
Oh, well, thank you, Greg. You know how to sweet talk me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Us Texas boys, we know how to take care of everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you where the true Bucky's is at.
Okay, so before we get into everything about the G.I. Joe, the DFW G.I. Joe and action figure show, I do want to get to the chat real quick because we have some people in the chat that will be there, like our buddy Zakanen. Thank you, Zakanen, for the super chat. He says rumbles into the stream and chirps the like button. He also commented on this live stream yesterday. Which have you been waiting here for 24 hours for this show to start? I mean, that's fine, but
no. He was in the time stream, not the live stream. Yeah.
Gotcha. Our buddy M. Vargo, who is also going now, last minute addition.
Yes.
He's flying down just for one day. Can't wait to see Michael.
Wow.
He sends in a tater chat. Thank you, sir. Have a great. He says have a game tonight, but looking forward to watching this back. Have a great show. Thanks, Michael.
It's been too long since any of us have seen him, so I was stoked when he said he was coming.
Yeah, it'll be good to see good old M. Vargo 97. Our friend Cobra Emperor 6 G.I. Joe O-Ring collector, Delta 17. That's a long name. But I don't know if he's going to DFW, but he does say the peasants of 3POA Canistan have been waiting to be blessed by the leader's words. Well, thank you for being here. I will bless you with my words, although it may be more of a curse, but thank you, sir.
May the Lord's scale keep you.
Yeah. I like a true world building scale, like 112. That's what I like, Chad.
I don't think so.
And then he says, "Hail all nightly 3POA Canistan Emperor." Thank you, sir.
That's you. Yeah.
I know it's a little weird, but it had to be done. I had to invade and conquer Canada. RC Archaeologist, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Happy belated International Day of the Potato LP. Watching with Mrs. Archaeologist for the first time. No pressure." Well, thank you very much. Apparently, yesterday was International Day of the Potato. That's a real thing.
Wow.
Is it?
I guess.
I mean, was it on the internet? It has to be true.
Unless he AI'd something together and sent it to me,
It probably is. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let me get a drink of this. All right, Greg.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man.
Let's do it.
Let me add this to the stage. The DFW G.I. Joe and Action Figure Show, June 27th through 29th. Less than a month away now. In fact, in 4 weeks, we'll be hanging out in Texas. I cannot wait, man. I'm
it's going to be
nuts. To it. Yeah. So you put together a pretty good show. The Commander's package. If anyone doesn't have tickets yet, I'm told this is what they want to get. This is the way to go. The Commander's package.
I mean, the Commander's package is impressive.
You need two hands to hold
it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, with the Commander's package, it's kind of a throwback to the old JoeCon days. We had your General's package and Assistant Commander's Aid package and stuff. This is predominantly for the people that are driving in and flying in and want to attend all 3 days worth of events. And so what it gets you, we actually started it last year, but then this year we actually added more to it. And the price went up just a little bit. But what it gets you into is Friday, and that's why we encourage Commander's Package people to actually come in Thursday night or come in Friday morning, is we're going to have 5 different workshops that are exclusive to people who bought the Commander's Package. One of the workshops is going to be product photography, action figure photography. We got 3 guys that are really good with product photography that'll be doing a workshop. Another one is diorama building, the basics of diorama. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to ask you about the photographers here.
Yeah.
Kyle
Juntanen.
Okay, that's how you say it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Diorama building with Ruben Bartram.
Yep. Ruben, great diorama builder, and you can learn how to build a diorama on a budget.
Cool. And then our friend JMK Custom Works, customizing 1/18 scale vehicles with Texas Customs.
Yeah, that's the only one that actually costs an additional fee of $50 because they're going to be providing accessories, and they're asking people if they have a classified Destro to bring it. And basically they're going to enhance that and create an all new character that pays homage to the Fisher Price Adventure People line from the 1970s and 1980s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Cool.
John and Mikey have been working on it for quite some time.
Nice.
Yep. And then the other one will be, oh goodness gracious, vehicle customization from a good friend of mine, Chris Wall, TX Customs. He's going to be showing you how to take pretty much any vehicle. You can take a G.I. Joe vehicle, you can take a Chat May, a Lennard, and add on backpacks, extra gear, different paint schemes and such like that. So he'll be walking people through that. And then finally, for the old school guys from the 70s, we're bringing a very great person, Scott Wild, who I've known for almost 30 years. He is going to be teaching people how to restring talker figures from the 70s, as well as rebuild muscle bodies from the 70s as well, which is a very hard thing to do if you've never done it before, but he's going to be showing people how to do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different than rebuilding an O-ring, trust me.
And these are all workshops that are included in the Commander's package, besides the one with JMK.
Right. So those are included for Friday from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And then we have it where from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, it's the Friday night preview, which they will have admission to. And then after that finishes, from 8 o'clock to whenever on Friday, they will have the meet and greet with with all of our special guests, which include the Hasbro designers that worked on the G.I. Joe line, as well as the voice talent and producer from the G.I. Joe animated series. So just like we did last year, we're just adding more people to it. We will have our own special kind of bar and grill atmosphere called the Trade Winds, which is badge only. You can't get any further unless you have your badge. And it's a really nice casual atmosphere. It's a lot different than last year's where we just had a room at the hotel. This is a very, very nice. It has stools and chairs and tables and everything else like that. So it's like you're kind of at a bar. So you get that. Saturday, you're able to get in early admission. You get in for 9 o'clock, the early bird admission. And then Sunday, you also have early bird admission. And then on top of all that, you get your 2025 show t-shirt, which this year bridges the gap between the Action Sailor and Shipwreck. So it's our Navy shirt for this year. And you get to choose your size. So we just don't give you a t-shirt. You get to choose the size t-shirt you want, not the size t-shirt we'll give you. So
You don't get stuck with a schmedium again?
a schmedium? No, that's for Zanzibar.
Good old Zanzibar, the translator one.
Or whatever it is. It's like, I know it's the Canaan. I was chasing him. I told him, I said, I couldn't read what it said for his name when I was doing the Mikey's podcast. And so I just kept on calling him Zanzibar because that's all I knew. That's all I could remember. So
it's fair.
Yeah. Hey, it's G.I. Joe. It's Zanzibar. We're with it.
Yeah.
What's I mean, that's got to cost $300-400 for that Commander's package, huh?
You're definitely saving money with the package deal because only those package holders can do the meet and greet on Friday night, and only those package holders can go to those workshops on Friday. So you're getting, I would say it's probably, it's a full meal deal, and then we supersized it,
With tots.
With tots. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So $75, man. I don't think
75.
You can go
there
wrong.
we are. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. $75. You can't go wrong with that.
No, that's
For
insane.
a lot of cons, that's a day.
Not even. Yeah. Some cons are more than that per day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. $75 for 3 days, and that includes your pass into the main show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early bird.
Yep.
Early bird. For every one of them. I mean, generally I think that would cost, $75 would just cover your cost for going in for 3 days, for 3 days of show. But, this one, you're getting the t-shirt, and you're getting you're getting the meet and greet, and you're getting the 5 different panels that you can attend, which you learn stuff from. That's the thing I used to love going to those panels back in the day, is you go and see these people who are kind of like masters of their craft. And, especially with things like action figure photography, these guys, I mean, it's not only Kyle, it's his 2 friends, and I posted on Facebook, these guys do amazing photography. I mean, I would say it's almost quality to that of, major toy manufacturers and such.
Yeah. All right, let's get over to the guest and vendors list. Special guest, Guy Cassidy.
Yep, this will be his first year attending the show.
Yeah.
Cool.
He is. I know Chad's really excited about him coming. He is the king of the large vehicles.
Yep.
So, and he's excited to be coming, and I think he's going to do really good because this is the first time he's ever done our show. I think he's only done one other show, which was probably HasCon way back when. But he's super excited to come, and we're super excited to have him.
Zacanian says Commander's package just for the early bird is well worth it, especially for the Valaverse panel. There's a Valaverse panel?
There is a Valaverse panel. It is on Sunday. And the reason we're putting it on Sunday is we kind of wanted, for people to leave on a really high note. And I know last year, I think it was pretty well standing room only for his preview that he had. And so we're giving it, I think it's going to be at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday. So, and that was a major thing. In fact, we tried to get more room just for that because last year, like I said, it was standing room. We had seats for 100 people, and I think we probably had 125 or so in that room.
JLS Comics says Cassidy is a huge get. Dude's a true legend. No, you look great. You want to come get on camera? Come on, let me show you off. You look hot.
Come on.
Get over here. Hold on.
Let's go. Full screen that.
Come on. You never get over here. Looking. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Mrs. LP?
Say hello. They said hi.
Hi, guys.
Killing it.
Yeah.
All right, have fun.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Aww.
All right. God, kissing your wife is so gay. Shouldn't have done that.
What? Oh, man. I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, she's going to a graduation party tonight. So.
Oh, wow.
I got out of it because of this. All right. So we got, let me go to the chat real quick. We got Figure Fight Club here. Thank you for the super chat, Figure Fight Club. He says, but Bobby will be here in a minute. Just relax. I think he's putting the kids to bed or something. Let's see here. Livingston said, last time I got conned, he was like, I'm going to need Tree Fitty.
Need to buy Tree Fitty. Yeah.
I'm going to need about Tree Fitty. The Titan wants to know if there's a parking fee at the DFW Marriott.
There normally is, but what we have done is they have a thing where you go and park, and there's a thing you're supposed to scan that has like one of those little barcode thingamajiggies, and it takes you to this app or to this website. And we have it on our website where it has the passcode to basically waive it. And so it takes probably about 3 minutes to do. You get out of your card, you scan it. But if anybody needs directions, contact us on Facebook or contact us at DFW Show Host. God bless. I'll get the email in a little bit. But if they contact us on Facebook, we can send them the PDF copy that basically shows them how to do it. I try to get it where they would just waive it. But it's the Marriott. It's the first year. We're kind of working out the bugs with them. But the parking will be free for both people that are coming for the hotel stay and people that are just coming for the show. So,
Yo, Joe Jerk says, "Hey, it's Flighty." Thank you, Jerk. Let's see here. Shut up, Max. I'm a 10.
Didn't we all though? I think we all did.
Yeah.
All of us.
I'm basically living the king of Queens life over here. I'm like Kevin. What's that fat guy's name? Kevin
James.
Kevin James. Yeah. I'm Paul Blart, Mall Cop. Yep. Yellow Martian says greetings from Saudi Arabia. Wow. What's up?
Wow.
Heard about your oil over there. Got a lot of it, huh? That's cool. Hey, Chad, you ever been to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Very wealthy country.
Yeah.
Jeff Morris wants to know if there's a shuttle from DFW Airport to the hotel. Guess what? You don't need one because it's right there. You could probably walk, but I'm sure there's a shuttle anyway.
There is.
The DFW Airport Marriott does have its own shuttle. You just need to kind of call ahead and schedule it. But yeah, they have a free shuttle that goes back and forth. I mean, literally. I mean, You guys have been there.
Oh yeah.
The airport is right there. Instead of being north of the airport, now we are just northeast of the airport.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know. I totally jacked it up.
Moving on up to the east side.
Moving on up. That's right.
To a deluxe Marriott in the sky.
I gotta say, before you move on, Ryan,
Yeah.
I have to emulate what Jesse said. You know, Greg and I talk all the time, and he told me that they got Guy Cassidy, and I just couldn't believe it. Any fan of G.I. Joe would know his work, and he's obviously the father of the holy grail of unproduced Joe toys, the infamous Cobra Island playset.
There we
dude's a
go.
legend. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to get him is like, it's like getting Kurt or Ron. Like that's up there.
Awesome. So it says he is, what did you say? The king of big vehicles.
Yes.
So the Persuader, you got the General here, the Sky Storm.
Yep.
Rolling Thunder, Mobile Command Center. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. And then next up, Jamie Sullivan.
Yeah, Jamie is kind of interesting because we were talking to Jamie last year, and then when we brought and we were talking to Keone Young, that is the voice of Storm Shadow, and I told Keone, I was like, hey, we can't get you for this year, but we definitely want you for next year for 2025. And so when we were talking to him, he was like, hey, you should give Jamie a shout. And so I talked to Jamie, and he was 100% on board on coming. And we've been if you're not familiar, we've made an earnest effort to have a stronger artist alley this year. And so having him as part of the artist alley was a huge jump for us for this year.
Yeah, he's a good pull.
He's a great artist, fantastic artist.
And he's doing signings. Is he taking? Is he doing sketches? What's he doing?
I'm not really sure. What I'm planning on doing in the next couple of weeks is I'm going to post a list of what the rates are for the different people. Ron charges a certain amount. He does black and white prints, and then he does color prints, and they cost different things. I think it's 20 for the black and white, 40. A lot of the other guys, like Kirk and Guy, they're not really used to doing shows like that, and so I'm working with Dan Klingensmith to have some guest specific prints made for them. Dan is, once you see these, you'll be blown away. Dan has been working hard on that. And then but we'll also be posting what the rates are for Sullivan and all the rest of the guys, and Larry Selman, and we have five people on Artist Alley right now. So I couldn't tell off the top of my head. Their rates are all different.
It's probably a little too late this year, but maybe for next year. I know a G.I. Joe artist. I'm friends with him. I'd love to get him out to Dallas.
Yeah,
he's been at Joe Fest a few times. He tells me he doesn't want to do cons, but I think I could talk him into it.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get Sanchez. It'd be cool to get Alex Sanchez out to Dallas.
Okay. It would be a good get to get Alex Sanchez, but you have George Vega, freaking awesome artist, and you just got John Earl too.
We did. John, we've been in contact with John Earl for quite some time, and we've been trying to figure it out. First, I didn't think we could do it. And then when like I was telling you earlier, when I had to go meet with Crystal at the hotel, part of that was to make some space for John, because I thought I could put one more spot in the artist alley. So, and of course, when she gave me the revelation that we had to change everything, I told John, I was like, please be patient with me. Give me at least 2 weeks and we get it done. And I contacted him. He's like, "This is awesome. Thanks. I'll get some stuff moving." And so that's when we announced him this week. So really excited to have him join the team this year.
Our buddy It's Jay Gonzo with the Tater Chat. Thank you, sir. He says, "What's up, everyone, gentlemen?"
He'll be there too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Gonzo. We'll see him again at DFW. And then Figure Fight Club wants to know, how much is Chad charging for autographs and pictures? I'm really excited to meet him.
Oh. Stop it. Checks in the mail. I'm going to be handing out stickers and getting everybody to sign my posters from George Vega.
All right. And then David Carlier, he gifted 1 3POA podcast membership. Thank you very much, David. And that went to the Yellow Martian from Saudi Arabia. Wow, awesome. We have a channel member from Saudi Arabia now. Thank you, David. Very nice of you. Okay, so you got George Vega on the ticket there.
Yep.
G.I. Joe artist.
Phenomenal guy, great guy. And in fact, he was the one who did the design for our t-shirt design this year with Action Sailor and Shipwreck.
Very cool. And you'll have those for sale at the show on time?
You get them as part of the Commander's package, but we'll also have them at for sale at the DFW G.I. Joe Collectors Club table.
Cool. I was just busting your balls because I had to order mine online after the show. Somehow I missed them at the show.
Really? Huh.
That was last year, yeah. Okay, and then we've got Bob Swanson.
Yep. Bob Swanson is part of the marketing group that we're expanding on this year. So he'll be joining Vinny DeLiva and Kurt Bazigian. And we will actually be doing a panel that will be talking about the marketing behind G.I. Joe. And so he'll be on that panel. And it'll be really interesting because, as we've talked about it before, the marketing team was instrumental in really expanding things. I mean, you had your mail-aways, your Cobra Commander mail-away, your Duke mail-away. You had the stuff where you could buy stuff and all like that. Yep. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they did that. And hopefully maybe they'll talk about, the television, branching into the television series, as well as, working with Marvel to kind of do a three-hole punch on that one.
Yeah,
awesome.
G.I. Joe marketing. It's kind of a lost art. But yeah, Bob Swanson was very instrumental. Yeah, you like that? You like that. You did. I saw, right?
It's good.
But yeah, Bob Swanson, yeah, super important with all that stuff.
Super great guy. Like I've said before, I don't mean to make Dan Klingensmith's ego get any bigger. But Dan was very instrumental in getting all these people for the event, and also for coordinating the panels that'll be going on that weekend.
Kurt Groen.
Kurt will be there.
I see a G.I. Joe Extreme action figure here.
Do you see the Sergeant Savage?
I see the Sergeant Savage as well. Yeah, that's very cool.
He was there during all of that. Yeah.
Yep.
So G.I. Joe Extreme was Kenner, or right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. It was the former Kenner people in Cincinnati that needed something to do, and then Ginger Kent and Alan Hassenfeld were like, let's kill those 2 lines and we'll give it to them. So
put Kurt on it.
I'm just gonna be quiet. So.
Yeah. You mentioned him, Greg Bernston.
What's really interesting is Greg is probably, I think he's the longest tenured employee that has been there. And his thing, obviously, is the USS Flag. But he was in there in different stages during the G.I. Joe tenure within Hasbro. And fascinating guy, vehicle designer extraordinaire, very down to earth, but really great guy. Yeah, if you ask him about the Flag, he'll tell you the story of the Flag. It's an amazing story.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be good to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cobra Pogo.
Yeah.
I remember that thing. I had one of those.
So did I.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, the Star Brigade Invader's better, but yeah.
And our friend Kirk Bazigian, which, quick aside, if anyone missed the interview he did with Bobby on the Valaverse YouTube channel, it was excellent.
Yes, it was.
And everyone should go watch that when we're done here. But yeah, Kirk Bazigian's coming once again.
The godfather of G.I. Joe right there. The single most instrumental person ever for G.I. Joe. That guy right there.
Amazing guy. Super amazing guy.
Yeah. Super knowledgeable.
He's one of those genuine guys where he loves meeting Joe fans. He loves hearing everyone's childhood stories and, adult Dolly lover stories. It doesn't matter to him. Like he wants to take in everyone's memories and adoration for G.I. Joe. And he's a truly genuine guy.
And he is on our Facebook page a lot. He's liking things. He's commenting on things. So he's been very involved with our social media as well. And I can't say this enough, guys. Every one of these guys that came from Hasbro that come to the show. They don't have an ego. They're super down to earth. People like Guy and Bob, they're just amazed that there's such a big following for G.I. Joe. And they, like I said, this will be their first show. I think a big show. I don't know when the last time they've done a show, if they've done one at all. But they're just amazed at it. I mean, thank God Kirk's there to kind of walk them through, and all the other guys like Ron. Yeah, but super down to earth guys. That's an awesome piece you got there, dude.
One of the best parts about the last show, Greg, was the after hours hangout with all the Hasbro guys.
Yeah.
Larry Hama was there. We were just all hanging out and talking, having conversations, having a drink, and it was cool. And like you said, every single one of those guys, down to earth. They would talk to anyone. They were just fans like us, really.
Yeah, they are, and that's the funny thing is because, when I was on Mikey's show a couple days ago, we had Dave Kunitz on there, and Dave even said, he's a toy collector like us too, and that's the great thing about it is they can relate because they share the same passion that we all do about it. So
I got this from Dave last year. Me and Jordan ran into him in the hotel lobby, and he said, "Hey, you guys, I got a couple extra," and he passed this off to me and Jordan, which was really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, super nice guy.
I've never been to a con or a show where all these people who are so important to not just an IP, but to the toy industry in general are so accessible. You can just hang out with them. It's a very cool thing that you guys do that. And hopefully this year people are a little more relaxed. It was like a weird office mixer last year for the first 10 minutes. Nobody wanted to get up, and I'm like, shit, you people suck.
Yeah, it was kind of like a teenager's dance. Guys on one side, girls on the other one type of thing. And then finally people started walking towards each other and making eye contact and talking. So
yeah.
I think having the trade winds. Yeah, I think having this Trade Winds Lounge is going to be a lot more informal and being able to be a little bit more comfortable sitting down and just kind of hanging out. We are working with a hotel to have a bartender there.
Nice.
And of course, it's going to be a catch bar. Sorry, we can't put the bill on the alcohol fees going on. But it's definitely going to be a relaxed atmosphere. And I was the same way when I got there because I hadn't. A lot of these guys I hadn't. I mean, I've had Ron at the show before, and I've talked to Ron and Jenny quite a few times. But for me, it was like everybody else. It was the first time that I actually got to talk to people and just kind of hang out. And I was kind of like probably everybody else too. I was a little apprehensive, because you don't know how talent is. You don't know if the people that are coming in, if they're going to have an ego, if they're going to think, oh yeah, I designed this. No, these are. I mean, they're just. I can't say it enough. Just super, super cool, and they love talking about it. And when you're asking them questions, you start seeing their eyes light up. You can see their brain kicking the overdrive as they're trying to remember some of the stuff. And
these guys, they weren't just doing a job. They loved what they did. They loved like Kirk is especially. He loves toys. He loves what he did. We see a lot of live streams nowadays with I don't want to call anyone out, but there's there's people at the big toy companies that will live stream, and you kind of get the impression they don't really care about it. They don't have a passion for it. They're just kind of doing a job. That's not the case with these guys.
No, not at all.
They love it, and they will talk to you about it, and you can, the passion comes across. It really does.
Yeah, and they set industry standards. Just this guy right here alone, flag points, mail away stuff. That's all him. Yeah. The file cards are him. The blueprints are him. Like assembling the vehicles, putting the stickers on, all Kirk's ideas. Like they changed an entire industry, and I mean they deserve all the love for it, for sure.
And again, that goes back to we were talking about marketing. That's part of the marketing of it. Creating that desirability of the stuff, and that a file card or a blueprint. I mean, it's just a piece of paper, but it just adds even more weight to that set that you get.
Yeah.
You got Vinny D'Oliva.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Vinny's another part of the marketing team. He is a jokester. In fact, when we were talking about doing the show last year, he just wanted to sit in the audience and heckle everybody else. And we told him, no, Vinny, we're going to need you to sit up on stage with everybody.
That's my kind of guy. I like
Yeah.
him.
You know,
He's
and
a-
the cool thing about Vinny D'Olivia is that he was very much in lockstep with Kirk when Kirk came back as the director of Boys Toys, and Vinny was pretty much like running G.I. Joe for Kirk.
right.
They had that, you know, leave no corner, you know, unassaulted. So, you know, you got the Mega Marines, you got Star Brigade to combat GI or Star Wars returning, and then you had the Dino Hunters to go up against Jurassic Park. And they turned 1993 into the second biggest year of the IP, and that was all Vinny and Kirk. So, like, he's a really brilliant marketing guy, and again, somebody else who's truly passionate about Joe, and he knows his shit.
Yes, he does. Definitely does.
Of course, Ron Rudat will be there this year.
What can we say about Ron? That, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's a legend. I mean,
Yeah.
The guy who forgot more about G.I. Joe than most people will ever know about G.I. Joe.
and you're absolutely right. He worked on the Adventure Team line in the 70s, and he doesn't remember a whole lot about it. He did a little bit of work there. And what's funny was a friend of mine, Steve Stovall, we found one of the mini comics that came with the Adventure Team line that came with the Seawolf, the little the submersible. And we found the artwork on the cover art, and it had Ron's signature on it. And we showed it to him, and he picked it up, and he looked at us, and he goes, "Not my best work," and then gave it back to us.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Let's see here. Frank Coronios.
Yes. Frank is the little secret we didn't even know we had in our backyard. Frank lives in Texas, and I had found out after the fact that Frank had been coming to our shows, just coming to the shows. And when Ron was at the shows, he'd come and say hi to Ron and stuff like that. And so when we invited him, he was one of those guys that's like, "Really, you want me?" And I'm like, "Dude, come on, you were involved in some pretty killer sets. I mean, the Condor, and I forget the name. What's the one that was like the Sergeant Slaughter came in? It was that big armored person out there, the Warthog, which was phenomenal to me. That was one of my favorite vehicles because it was based on an actual one. And then, of course, you know, you guys know this as well. You know, he worked at Cadillac Gage. He actually worked at a company that made military vehicles.
Yep. He's the only designer from Hasbro that worked on real military contracted vehicles. And he's the father of what, Greg?
I think it was that flip it technology, finger
flick technology. Yeah.
Finger flick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is ingenious because you don't have any rubber bands or anything. You just, which, I mean, anybody who played flag, you know, who played, what was it called? Woody football back in school would know how to do that, you know?
Yeah. When there was regulations on stored energy weapons for kids' toys, he was like, well, I mean, we'll just, there's all the energy you need, and you'll just fire it right out.
Yeah. A genius move. Simple, you know?
You have a television show writer, Michael Charles Hill. He wrote for
GoBots.
Yeah, GoBots, Centurions, Cops. Wow, Dragon's Lair, Gem and the Holograms, My Little Pony, RoboCop. Wow, that's a good get. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Very cool.
And of course, with G.I. Joe, he is the creator of Cold Slither, which has been blowing up this entire year. And it's so funny because when we booked him,
hold on. What was that, Chad? What was that?
Oh, Cold Slither sucks.
Chad, you know you're going to get that Cold Slither's art.
No.
I'll tell you what, Greg. Chad is going to wait in line with me at San Diego Comic-Con so I can get the Cobra Slither classified box set.
And then we're going to do a skit like Weatherman or Anchorman, and we're going to kick it off a bridge.
Well, no. Well, your copy will kick off the bridge. I'm keeping mine.
I was so disappointed that was the set that you could only get at Comic-Con because we got the Cold Slither Zartans for Michael and also for Zach, who does the voice of Zartan, so that they could have something. And Michael Charles Hill is just the most, God, I hate using the term down to earth. It's getting redundant, but just a very humble guy. I got to meet him at the Assembly Required back in November of last year. I got to talk to him beforehand. And, he did Cold Slither. And the other thing, and I think we're going to talk about it at the panel that they're going to be doing on Sunday, is they're going to be talking about his interpretation of The Coil, which was the very last episode of season 2 under the Marvel Sunbow Productions series. And that, season 3 was going to flesh out The Coil.
Yep.
And interestingly enough, members of The Coil were Firefly, which we will have Greg Berger there. Zartan, which de facto, he wasn't in the episode, but the Dreadnoks were in the episode. So by default, he would be a member of The Coil. And Storm Shadow was a member of it as well. And so we have three of the members of The Coil that will be there. And hopefully, maybe Jamie will be producing, hopefully, fingers crossed, a print of The Coil for everybody to sign.
That would be rad.
Yeah, we're trying it. Jamie's been having a lot of medical problems. He's a fellow diabetic, and so he's been having some really bad problems with his feet. So hopefully, fingers it gets here. But just keep your fingers crossed, because it would be awesome to have that for everybody to autograph.
Now, before we talk about Keone, I want to go to the chat, because Nowhere Man Child.
Yay!
He says it says so much that all these Hasbro legends choose to attend the show together, and that speaks well to Greg and his organization of it all. It's true. Yep.
And I appreciate him coming as a vendor for the show as well, because he's part of that. That's the one thing I always say about doing the shows. The vendors are always the lifeblood of the show, because they are what the show is based on. We do our damnedest to get a very good selection of good vendors, and then we build upon that. We get a strong base of vendors, then we start building on the special guests that we're going to have, and then from the special guests, then we start building on the panels, and then we build on the workshops, and then we build on the evening activities until, like I said, it's not only a shopping experience, but it's also just an experience overall for being a Joe collector. So, and he's part of it. Yeah, he brings some really cool stuff to the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan, nice avatar. He says the blueprints were always so awesome. Wish I still had the Moray hydrofoil blueprints. I'd frame them. I had them as a kid, and it was the best Christmas ever. Very cool, Hal.
Hey, Hal. Give me about a month. I need some time to unask this room, and hit me up on Instagram or Facebook and remind me. I might have an extra set.
Hey, nice. Yeah. Look at that.
Remind me.
To mail it to Canada. Robert's Infinite Realms. Thanks for the super chat, Robert. He says, I still have all my FC and BP amazing stuff still. Robert, great video today. You guys, Chad, do you watch Toy Apocalypse?
Yes, I haven't seen this week's yet, though.
It's good. Robert's putting out some good stuff over on his channel.
Busy boy.
Yeah, thanks for the super chat, man. Usual Mike Television is here. Stellar lineup for the con.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, it really is.
Yeah.
Our friend John, World Made of Cardboard, who will be at DFW G.I. Joe and Action Figure Show.
Awesome.
Says, I didn't know Ron made the original Cobra Missile Command headquarters. That toy was very influential in my toy creation life.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool, John.
Cardboard playset.
Yeah. He makes really cool stuff out of cardboard, man.
Cool.
Stu for lunch. Thank you for the super chat. Bronies unite, right, Sikanen? If you say so, Stu.
No.
Thanks, Stu. And then is Cold Slither going to perform at DFW Joe Show?
No, we're filled to the gills, man. We can't. I jokingly told Lisa at the time when we were talking to try to get her in, I said, we might have to have Zach sitting on Keone's lap so we can get her into the show. I mean, we are asses to elbows with stuff. So,
Well, Chad plays drums, so what is it, Ripper? You'll cosplay as Ripper, right?
Well, you play drums too?
Yeah, but
but Chad, you love Coach Slither so much.
Can we stop this cruel game, please?
we need a guitar player. And then wasn't there a keytar? Did someone play the keytar in Cold Slither?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes, a keytar. A friggin' keytar, man.
Oh, I wonder what it would cost to pick up a keytar nowadays. They're probably pretty expensive.
Probably pretty stupid.
Well, yeah. Not everything from the 80s was great.
Oh, the old
All right.
guitar.
So Keone Young, super nice guy.
Yep.
Met him a few times over the years. Terrific on. I sat behind him on an airplane going to Joe Fest one year. Very nice. Sitting on the same flight, sitting behind me was the voice actor of Destro.
Were you
Arthur
on that same
Berghart.
flight?
Huh?
Was it like 2022?
Yes.
Flying from Dallas?
Yes. No. It was
No?
the puddle
23.
jumper. It was the puddle jumper from
22.
Atlanta to Augusta. Arthur Burkhart was behind me. Keone was in front of me. Keone, very quiet, very polite. Arthur Burkhart, very loud the whole flight. Yeah.
Very outspoken.
Yes.
It was 2023. 2020. Yeah, 20. I think it was 2022. I was on the flight, and he was on the same flight behind me, and it was me and Paul Mundheim and his son were there as well on the same flight. And I ran into Ryan Bonavina from Toy Federation, and I was like, Ryan, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I'm going to be picking up Arthur Burkhart, the voice of Destro. And I was like, brother, I hope I didn't want the guy sitting 2 seats behind me, because I said he was loud. And next thing you know, he's coming around the corner, and he goes, is that him? I'm like, oh, yeah, have fun. See you later.
Dude, so we land in Augusta,
Right.
and I think, it was Ryan and from Toy Federation and another guy that gave Arthur a ride.
Right.
He was Arthur was hungry.
Yeah.
So we are in this airport shuttle in Augusta, Georgia at like 11 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, Arthur's asking, is there anywhere to stop to eat? And the bus driver's like, I mean, there's a Wendy's that might be open. We could stop there. It's like the only thing open in Augusta at 11. And so we're in this airport shuttle, and Arthur Burkhart, I'm across the aisle. He looks over at me. He's like, you mind if we stop at Wendy's? I'm like, no, I'm that's fine. He's like, I'm going to buy you a Frosty. I said, sounds good to me. So
I'm going to buy you a Frosty.
Yeah.
Thanks, Destro.
So we drive into the Wendy's parking lot, and because it's the only thing open and it's a con weekend,
Right.
there's just a line of cars wrapped around the building, and so we're in line for like 30 minutes, and then Arthur changes his mind. He's like, I don't want to wait. Let's go to a hotel. And so we leave, and I'm like, it makes for a good story. All right, that's
I would say so. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
The same year, my wife and I were there in our finest costumes, and she walked Arthur Burkhart in when they announced him over the PA, because she was in her Baroness costume, and he kept going, my lovely Baroness, to her the whole time. And I was like, how surreal is this?
Hands off, Arthur.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Suka here. Suka, thanks for the super chat. Where's the classified panels? Obviously an error that they haven't been announced, actually.
That's that bullshit.
Isn't that Chad? Aren't you hosting that one too? After you do the Coach Slither panel.
Come on, Chad.
I'm going to host a classified panel.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, repaint, kit bash, Snake Eyes, repaint, kit bash, Ben accessories, Snake Eyes.
But Chad,
Porta potty.
It's 112. It's the devil's scale. Oh yeah. No,
We're gonna give that one up.
But the whole reason these people come is because they can and they care. Like the classified team won't. They can't. They're not allowed to. It's been discussed ad nauseum.
Yeah. We had
Yeah, look,
we
he sent $5 just to fucking poke me. Somebody knew that I was going to go off.
Oh, we're in trouble.
That's something in the future we're thinking about. Right now we've been focusing on, more of the, I guess you would say, the vintage type of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
we have, like Kurt. I mean, I want to get Kurt to do, talk about Savage, get some of those other guys to talk about the Savage line and talk about the Extreme line. As goofy as it was, I think that, the story needs to be told. And then, we were talking about, Daryl the Priest, who worked at Hasbro and has a plethora of knowledge as well. He did a panel last year on Adventure Team, and I was talking to him a couple of days ago, and I want to bring him back next year. I wanted to give him a year off so he can kind of enjoy the show because he's a vendor as well. We're going to have him talk about some more stuff as well. And so we're just going to have to kind of space it out, man. I wish I could put everything in there, but it would probably be a week-long show, and I don't think anybody could last 7 full days of Jodom. So I might be wrong. I don't know.
Well,
Go touch his tank to calm down, says Al
I
Jordan.
mean, obviously it's not a tank, so that's that bullshit. But Greg, I had kind of, tried to put it a little bit in your ear. If you're going to have Daryl and you're going to have Bobby.
I know. That's the reason why the conversation has started again.
And then Bobby can drag Mark Webber, and it's a business expense.
I was interested. I thought it was interesting that Dave Kunitz was there when Bobby started, because when somebody asked him about that on JMK, they asked him, hey, did you work with Bobby? And he was like, yeah, Bobby had just gotten there, was interning, so yeah. And he actually he kind of talked to the story when Bobby went and started his own brand that that Dave kind of worked with him on and gave him some input. So it's funny how a small world it is in the G.I. Joe collection community.
Thank you, Hal. Sydney Sweeney has entered the chat.
I wish.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of the Lord scale, right? The Lord scale, 3 3/4. If you like the Lord scale, you should really be at this con, because things are going to happen. Livingstone says, interviewer, significant life achievements. Laser Destro brought me a Frosty. Yeah. He didn't actually buy me a Frosty, though, because we ended up leaving because the line was too long, and he had had enough of being in a line. So
he off.
But he was going to buy you a Frosty. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A World Made Cardboard says, all I can say, classifieds did answer the question I had for years with G.I. Joe. Where does everyone use the bathroom? Cobra Porta Potty.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't have that readily available. All right, back to it. So Keone Young is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one person. So when I talk to someone that is not into toys and G.I. Joe and these cons and stuff, they're like, oh, you're going to a con? I'm like, yeah. Oh, celebrities are going to be there? Yeah. Which ones would I know? Like, well, Keone Young. And then I'll show him a picture and be like, oh, yeah, I've seen him and stuff. So he's been in a lot of very popular live action movies and television shows and stuff.
Yep.
Of course, voice work, Storm Shadow, right?
Yep.
Storm Shadow. That's the big one. That's why he's at DFW.
Yep.
But super great guy. I like Keone.
Very nice guy. Very nice guy. Got to ride with them at the 2022 Joe Fest. Outside in the back seat. He was Paul's guest with Chicken Fried Toys. And just sat there and we just talked. We talked shop about doing shows and stuff like that. But yeah.
Awesome.
Great guy.
Mark Pennington.
Yes.
Yeah.
This will be Mark's first show.
Okay.
And we're bringing him, and we're very excited. I got to meet him up at the Des Moines show, and very friendly guy and very talented artist. I mean, not only did he work on the G.I. Joe line, but he was also an artist for Marvel and I think DC. So he'll be a very great addition to the show.
Storm Shadow version 2. All you gotta say.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Cops. He worked on Cops. Oh my gosh. He did my favorite G.I. Joe, Outback. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Outback and Cobra Viper, my two favorites.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Hit and Run's a solid design too. Like
yes.
he definitely he had some big shoes to fill, and he did a really awesome job. So, yeah.
Was the hit run figure shorter in stature to the other G.I. Joe figures? He always looked small to me. Was he shorter, or was he the same size as the other ones? I just remember him being kind of a small, petite body.
No, buck-wise, he's about the same.
Is he? Okay.
Artist and illustrator Larry Selman. Packaging
Larry
artist.
Selman. Larry Selman, got to know him at the cons before. Very nice guy. I've had him up at the Hershey show that we've done. If you collected Classic Collection back in the 90s and 2000s, you got a great chance you probably bought a figure box set that had his artwork on it. And interestingly enough, he worked on the Jurassic Park line before he worked on the G.I. Joe line. So that's why we included some pictures of Jurassic Park as well as Transformers. And then he even worked on, I don't remember these, remember the VR Troopers? He worked on the package art for VR Troopers. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
Jurassic
he does
Park.
really great in military art. He does historical art. And so he'll have prints for sale at the show.
Very cool. You get prints from him. Zach Hoffman will be there.
Yep.
The voice of Zartan himself.
Yeah. So Cold Slither, we're putting the band back together.
It's really nuts because when we started this whole thing, it was supposed to have been for, for the coil, and then just when Hasbro made all those announcements, I'm like, well, that's great timing. And when he did that spot for us last week, he's like, hey, do you need anything? I was like, well, could you do a spot? And he's like, yeah, sure. And when we posted it, people went crazy for his spot, and then we had the one for Keone. But strangely enough, I thought that he did more voices for G.I. Joe, but Zartan, that was his baby. And again, really, really great guy. And he was really excited to be doing the show. So.
All right. Kickley. Right
Kickley,
on,
I mean, I hate to say it. I feel like an idiot that I had not been familiar with his work. But then again, I went to Assembly Required. And if anybody hasn't gone to that show, you need to go to Assembly Required. It's a really great show. It's up in Des Moines. It's in November. I mean, here I am plugging another show when I'm doing one. But it's a phenomenal show. Those guys do a fantastic job. And Kickley was there. And we were talking. He was like two spaces down from me. We weren't even talking G.I. Joe. I think we were talking about Henshin Cyborg or Micronauts or something in that realm. And then he was like, hey, I do some artwork. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we walked over and he started showing me his work. And I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. I've never, I haven't seen work like this. The diversity was really amazing. And then, we exchanged numbers and everything. And then he was like, about a couple weeks later, he was like, hey, would it be okay if I did the show? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'd love to have you.
Great artist.
Yep. Oh, and he did 13 drawings or paintings of G.I. Joe Real American Hero. And then he said, well, I'm going to stop at 13. And then he just kept going. He started adding Duke and all that. And then they even did, a satire of Wild Bill with the 7 fingers. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
And then he even had it where Wild Bill was riding the nuclear bomb like Dr. Strangelove, again with the 7 fingers. And you have to go to his Facebook page. It's absolutely hilarious. Well, what was funny is I initially shared the picture of that as part of the series because he's in the Dragonfly. And then I realized, oh crap, he's got the 7 fingers. I don't know if I'm going to share that one or not. But then what's really cool, because he's such a diverse artist, he started a series of the OGs from 1964. He did the Action Sailor, the Action Marine, the Action Pilot, and the Action Soldier. And extremely well received. In fact, I think the one guy was asking me, how much is he charging? I'm going to buy all 4 of them, da-da-da-da-da. So, which is great. That's the one thing that's the one thing we always try to do. We really want to promote our artists. We want to promote our vendors, and the celebrities. I mean, heck, they're they already have their, what do you call it, whatever precedes them. But yeah, Kickley, yeah. but Kickley, just an amazing guy. Just the artwork that he does, it's just crazy. I mean, you can see those pictures right there. That's just a sampling of what that guy does.
Yeah, Omar says he has them on his X account timeline. There you go.
Yeah, somebody sent me that 7-fingered Wild Bill joke. Like, I got spammed with it. Yeah, I know you sent it to me, but so many other people. It's good times.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, God bless America. How many fingers that boy got?
Kickley is here in the chat.
He might be.
Yeah, Clemens is telling me that he's here in the chat, but I don't see him.
I don't know.
Okay.
He was in Chad, wasn't he in yours on Sunday?
Yeah, I
I
believe
think he
so.
was. I think he was.
Yeah.
That 7 fingers was so wild, man. 7 fingers, if it wasn't so serious, it would be funny. Oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He'll probably sell a bunch of prints of that at the show.
Awesome. That'll be one to get. Yeah, that's
it'd be funny.
Yeah. Let's see here. Greg Berger. Yeah.
Grimlock.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, yeah, it's like, hey, what's so funny was when we were preparing the splash for it, he was like, hey, can you put Odie in there? And I'm like, yeah, sure. That's not a problem. But yeah, he did. I mean, Cutter, Firefly, Spirit. There was another character that was attributed to him on like IMDb or something like that. And I talked to him about it, and he goes, I know that he was the guy that was kind of like Breaker, but he wasn't Breaker in the animated series.
Sparks.
Yeah, Sparks. And he was like, because we had him on there, and he goes, they keep saying that was me. And he goes, I just don't remember me doing that. So we pulled it from there.
Yeah, well, you know, back in the Sunbow, it'd be like, hey, read this line.
Yeah, really. Yeah. It was like flight attendant number 5 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, guys, he's finally here. Please welcome to the show, Bobby Vala. Hi, Bobby.
Did you really have to like drop me out and like bring me back in like all dramatic?
Yes, because I run the show, Vala. I run the show. I bring you in when I want to.
Whose StreamYard account is it?
All right, fine. Okay, you can share duties with me, I guess.
You guys done? Are you done?
No, we're still fighting. Mom and Dad are fighting, Chad. Go back to your room.
Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad are fighting.
All right, Vala, you finally showed up. How's it going?
Finally, it took a little longer because I had to explain to my daughter that we have $1 million force field around our house, so monsters can't get in.
Yeah,
she bought it.
Yep. That's what all that Action Force money bought you. $1 million force field. Yep. Hammertron Figure says, it's time for action. That's right. Bobby, go ahead and take over for me. I'll be right back.
Oh, shit. I know nothing about running a show. I mean, I just show up. Yeah.
It all comes out. What's up, Mr. Vala?
What's up, Chad? Look at you. You got the display all set up in the new,
it's
the new
good
house.
to see you, buddy.
Look at that. What's up, Greg?
Going good, man. Glad to have you.
All right. Thanks for coming on, guys.
That way we don't have you in the car like we had it on Chad's. I was
that was perfect. Come on, that was perfect.
Yeah,
it was great timing. It was great timing because Chad, you could just tell Chad had some dirt he wanted to drop, and I was like, "What's Chad up to?"
And I think the camera on my iPhone, I think, is actually better than the one on my laptop in here.
Yeah, I'm running off a Samsung here, so.
So what have you guys been talking about so far? Just a
special guest. Special guest so far.
Guest Commander's Package. He kind of touched on your panel a little bit when you weren't here.
Talked about the panel.
Barely. I barely mentioned it. I just said there is a panel.
There is a panel.
Yeah,
there is a panel. I was just thinking today, because there's a new line that I'm going to debut at the panel.
Awesome.
And I think that I might have like some exclusive merch only available at the show right after that panel.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should be fun.
Street Horse. Here we go.
Too slow, Max.
Greg, we're
back.
going to need to just shut the show down during that hour. Just herd
We-
everyone in.
Well, when you did it when you did it last year, the show pretty well did shut down. It was like there's an eerie quietness here in the showroom, and then it's like a giant sucking sound getting vacuumed into the panel room. In fact, before you came on, I was talking to the guys about we've started with a fresh new person at the Marriott, and she showed me the floor plan of the panel room, and she was like, well, here's the panel room. And I was like, you have 60 chairs in there. We need 100 chairs. We actually need more than 100 chairs. And she was like, why? And I said, well, there'll be a panel that'll be going on Sunday that will probably be standing room only. And she goes, well, I'll see what I can do. And I'm like, yeah, you might want to figure that one out.
Yeah,
I
those
like
are
it.
rookie numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, that might be great for My Little Pony, but not for this one. So
I like it. Well, hopefully we could fill them. It'll look bad if we can't.
oh, I mean, like I said, and we pushed you back to 12 o'clock. So you don't have to wait the 15 minutes for everybody to get in there. I think they'll probably start filling in at probably around generally each panel is about 45 minutes. So they'll probably start filling in there about 11:50. So
Gotcha.
Are you bringing Bobby? Are you bringing toy addicts to film the panel?
I haven't talked to him about it yet. I know that's a kind of a far trip, but we'll see. We'll see how we're gonna do it. If not, then I think we're definitely gonna have to film it. I've been debating whether we should live stream it on Facebook or not. Look at you. Oh, look at you.
I bought a fancy new camera.
Ooh, that little ass you think that little ass camera can film the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The price tag says it can. God.
Yeah, that one can. Yeah. Ryan, my gimbal should be here on Monday.
Nice. Very cool.
Well, Ryan, looks like you got a job at DFW.
Another one? Okay. Okay, back to the guest list. We're gonna blow through, not blow through. We're gonna not rush through. We're gonna
finish off.
Meander quickly through. Dan Klingensmith is going to be there, of course.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Involved with G.I. Joe somehow? This guy?
I think he wrote. I think he wrote some books.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Now Dan's. I have to call Dan the man. He's been my right hand person as far as getting all of the Hasbro Legends together and getting the panels. He'll be moderating 3 panels. One's going to be more from a marketing aspect. One is going to be from a figure and vehicle design aspect, and the other one is going to be. And Bobby, you feel free to chime in. I forget what the term is, but we're going to have a mean dog there, but we're going to have the mean dog painted all gray for this particular panel. We have it listed on there. It's not PTO, but it's something like that.
It's usually like the early concept model.
Yeah. But if you go to the dfwjoeshow.com, it'll have what that panel is. But Dan is doing the PowerPoint for it, and he's already. In fact, next week he's going to be kind of walking the guys through it to kind of keep it timely. But I have to give full 110%. Dan has been very instrumental in helping me take this show to the next level. So I joke with him all the time, but great guy.
Of course, we already talked about him a little bit, but the man behind the Defiant, Dave Kunitz.
Dave will be there as well.
Yep.
And let me go ahead and chime in on this one because this is something we've really been stressing. We did the build a vehicle with Hasbro Legends last year. Total success. Everybody loved it. We were kind of flying blind going into it because it's the first time we ever did it. And so John Kukovic from Call Sign Longbow and Mikey, they came to me. They were the only 2 guys that actually finished their vehicles out of everybody. And they said they really wanted to be involved. So a couple of Kooks and JMK are going to be involved with the show. And Dave has been super involved because we are going to have, he's building bucks to do vacuum forming for shells of the a land vehicle, and for what's it called? The Barracuda? Is that the boat? The Barracuda and the Badger. And so he's going to be building the bucks for those and vacuum forming them. So every person who comes in will be able to select their own buck. And then we're going to be providing them the toolkits like we did last year. And then we're going to have decal sheets for them. And then John will be 3D printing the different accessories for like roll bars, for missiles, machine guns, so people can kind of pick and choose. Last year we did sprue kits. Kurt Bazigan donated a ton of like Robotech and Macross model kits, and we used those, but they just didn't look right. So we're going to be working with that, and it's really way more hands-on, because it will be Dave, it'll be Guy, it'll be Frank, and it'll be Greg. And we will only have 20 slots. So basically, each one of those guys will be working one-on-one with 5 people. And the game plan for this one is when you leave that build a vehicle workshop on Saturday night, you will have a vehicle in your hand, ready to go. And just being able to, and that's the reason why so many didn't get built last year. It's because everybody was sitting there was just talking to all those guys all the time. They were,
Yeah.
And we had so many tools there that we never even touched. And I got secondhand high from the what's the glue called, MEK or something like that. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, or probably the zip kicker.
Whatever it was, Dave told me to buy it, and I bought it in a bottle, and I was putting it in the smaller bottles with little dispensary tips on it. And I should have done it like about a week before, because I was higher than a kite before the thing even started. And we had to open up the doors to ventilate, and it was nuts. But everybody who came out of it loved it. They had a blast. And so we've really fine-tuned it so that the experience will be even better this year. So we're really excited about that.
Now, you mentioned vacuum forming.
Yes.
And I showed this earlier. This is what I got from Dave
Yep.
Units last year. Bobby, for those that don't know, you want to run through what this is?
So vacuum form, basically, it's when they make models. You can actually look up. They did one for the Millennium Falcon, but what they do is they make it out of wood.
Yep.
Basically, make the vehicle body out of wood, some sort of wood. You could put plastic pieces on it, but you want to have like a structure, and then to make the model, because you want to make the model out of plastic to be able to glue pieces on and paint it and stuff like that. So what you do is you say you have like half of a body of a jet, say like the top half of the Sky Striker. You carve that out of wood, and then you put it basically into an oven, and then like you roll it in, and then you take a sheet of plastic, so a big square sheet of plastic, and you put that into like the next layer up, and then you drop like this hood down, and it heats up that plastic to make it like almost like liquid in a way, but it's still pliable. And then when you're done, you lift up the hood, and then you step on like a pedal at the bottom, and it pushes the wood up into the plastic and then sucks the plastic down. Yeah. Over the wood, so you get the vacuum formed shape of that wood relief that you did. So then you can take it and you can trim the edges off the plastic, and then you have this shell. Like if you were to take a Millennium Falcon apart or a Sky Striker apart, that top layer, how it's like two halves, that's what you get when you vacuum form over it. So what Ryan had in his hand is basically, Dave kind of made those shapes out of wood and made a block, the Cobra symbol, and whatever that vehicle was. So that was like a block of wood, and then he put that into the vacuum former and pressed that plastic down over it, and it sucks it down and vacuum forms it over the wood sculpture.
Yep.
Sucks it down hard.
Yeah, it's not a real common thing anymore, just because of like 3D printed rapid prototyping. Those sort of the days of like kit bashing concept models is kind of over, which is unfortunate, because it was those guys like Dave and the other guys, Guy, like those guys tinker. They made stuff, like they made real stuff. Now it's like you give a concept to a 3D sculptor and they do it, and then they could 3D print it in like a couple hours, whereas that model would take you a week to do. So the days of that are over. So it's like finding a vacuum former anymore is like, the one they had at Hasbro had just a layer of dust on it because no one ever used it. I used one when I was going to school. I showed that vehicle, the Vulture, like the red flying vehicle. There was like tons of parts on there that are vacuum formed. So, that was the last time I used one, was forever ago, but good luck finding one nowadays.
Very cool. All right. Let's round this off with, why isn't this not adding the stage? There it is. The voice actress for Zorana.
Yep.
Lisa, yeah, she was the last edition, and what is so nuts is when we announced her, our Facebook metrics went off the charts. It was just totally nuts, and yeah, that's she did a few other voices on the show, but again, it was kind of like flight attendant number 5 or whatever. But it was the voice of Zorana, and people
Heather
were happy
Donna
to have it.
Dasher, Sergeant Carol Wheeler.
Sergeant Carol Wheeler, that was the other one.
Animaniacs. The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse, Monsters Inc., Fievel Goes West, The Little Mermaid, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Wow.
And she was also on 1 or 2 episodes of Married with Children.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super, super nice person. So
Can we just bring back Al Bundy? 2025 really needs Al Bundy.
amen to that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So she's going to be there signing. Real quick, A World Made of Cardboard. Thanks for the super chat. This is for you, Bobby. He says, loved your Zelda Link review. My daughter, who graduated from A&M, loves Link. She might be getting it one day. I am also looking to buy 2 Praetorians.
Nice, man. Glad you dug the video. It was fun. I actually didn't think people would watch it because I was like, people are really going to watch a video of me talking about this Link figure. But, dude, people are digging that video.
It's so funny because my kid has that figure, but he didn't get the deluxe. He got like the basic, which is like $50 less. And then so we're watching that video today, and he's seeing everything the deluxe comes with, and he's like, "That is really cool." I'm like, "You told me you didn't want all the extra." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's $150. It's probably more now. I'm sure it's sold out."
Probably.
But yeah, no, that is a very cool figure.
Talk to Andrew. That's who I got it from.
Yeah,
from Toyco.
Yeah,
it was a great figure. I wonder if it'll hold up as my figure of the year.
I'm not going to talk to Andrew. I don't want to spend that much for a 15-year-old to put on a shelf. Now, I'll put it on my shelf, maybe.
Well, yeah, like my son, he keeps saying, like, Dad, am I going to have that figure? And I'm like, it's $150, dude.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. You'll have some Praetorians probably at DFW.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
The rates are going to go up, I believe, Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll be in Vegas, but they'll go up on the site.
All right. And then 49er Brian wants to know the Commander package covers this. Now,
No.
49er Brian, what exactly are you talking about?
He's probably talking about the Build-A-Vehicle, and it does not.
That's what he's talking about.
The Build-A-Vehicle is a standalone workshop that anyone can sign up for and register for online, and it is $100, which is higher than it was last year. But again, that's why we shrunk down the size of the people down to 20 attendees for it, and it's also to help pay for all the costs and everything. Sure. And as Dave says, it also offsets all the time and energy he spent building the bucks and making the vacuum forms. And he's been a trooper. I got to give Dave credit for it. I got to see the bucks and the vacuum forms, and he's still chugging away at vacuum forming those. And he's a bit of a perfectionist, so he wants to make sure that it looks right. But yeah, that is the one. There were 3 different things. You know, the Commander's package is $75, and we've talked about that. And then the Build-A-Figure workshop with Mikey and John Kukovich, that's an additional $50 if you want to do that, because you will be getting they are making accessories for that figure. So that, so that helps pay for that. And then this one, it's because you're building the vehicle. And also when you get done with that workshop, you get to go home with the toolkit that we provide you, which is like, I think it's like a hand drill and the glue, and I think it comes with an X-Acto knife, and it has all these other little tools and stuff like that you can take back home with you with your kit and go use that to go build future vehicles with you. So
well worth the price, in my opinion, for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when you go to build, some of these other build a figures. I mean, you're like I said, Mikey and John's is $50, and I've been to other ones where it's about $50 or so. But this one's different. This one's you're working with guys who actually designed these vehicles at Hasbro back in the 80s and 90s.
The Defiant, you're working with that guy.
Yeah, you're working with those guys, and so. Yeah, and so I think I definitely think it is well worth the price.
Yes.
And here's the deal: we have those 4 guys listed. I'm sure Kirk's going to be there. I know Kirk was there last year, and he was kind of giving pointers and helping people out. I was sitting next to Kirk growing. He was sketching and doing some stuff, and people would kind of pop in. I can't remember. I think Rudat popped in there just for a little bit, then popped back out. So it's kind of it's a little bit of that celebrity mixer that we're doing Friday night, but you're building a vehicle. So,
but you also freely admitted like 5 minutes ago you were higher than a kite. So,
yeah,
I was higher than a kite because I was getting everything prepped with that super glue adhesive stuff. No. But by the time everybody got there, I think they were not as bad. And I think there were a few Shiner box and some beer there as well. So it's a pretty relaxed atmosphere. So
yeah. Oh yeah. All those designers, they were all just mingling and standing over there, just watching people. There's Kickley, Ryan.
Oh, is he here?
Yeah.
I want to be there drawing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's more than welcome to be there. He was asking me, he's like, can I go to this? And I'm like, dude, yeah, you're good to go. You're part of our special guest team, so
very cool.
I think I might have to crash that party.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I said, people that are like you, like you and stuff like that. I mean, George Vega, which I don't know if we got talked about. George sat there and he drew sketches of both John Kukovic's vehicle and Mikey's vehicle, and then he even colored it and everything like that. Yeah. And then he gave his artwork to both John and Mikey when the thing was done, and he fleshed it out with better colors and stuff because they didn't get to fully paint it and everything like that. But that was an experience. And so yeah, Kickley wants to get there and he wants to draw some sketch. More power to him. In fact, I encourage all the guys from Artist Alley to come out there if they want to do some sketches and stuff. So the more the merrier. It was a fun experience.
I'll be there judging people like I did last year, looking over their shoulder, going, "Are you going to do that? You really going to do that?"
You're always judging, Chad.
3 missiles, not 4 missiles.
Look at you buying modern product in the 1/12 scale. I'm Chad. I only buy the Lord's scale. I'm Chad. Oh. All right.
Which is not true.
I know. I'm just busting your balls a little bit. Okay, so as far as the schedule goes, we touched on it a little, but Friday night, 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. The preview night.
Friday night in the main showroom. Yeah, 6 to 8. If your commander's package, you get in automatically. If not, you have to pay for the Friday night preview admission at the admissions table.
Hooligans, if you want a poker chip, if you want the 3POA exclusive DFW poker chip, might want to be there Friday night.
We got exclusive poker chips?
I do. Yeah, I made them. Yeah. Okay. I might save you one.
Oh, we'll okay. Well, when you get your box that I sent out this past week or last week, then you'll make sure I get one. You'll see what's in there for you.
Oh, wow. Is it more nudes?
It's better than nudes.
Oh my God. Awkward. And then 8 to 10, of course, is the Friday night celebrity meet and greet.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very nice. The show Saturday and Sunday, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 9 to 3.
It's actually 10 to 5 and 10 to 3, but if you get the early bird,
Right,
you get
with
in at an hour
early
late.
bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did pin the link in the chat. There's a pin link if you want to buy tickets in advance.
Thank you.
Do you think it's going to sell out? Should they buy them now, or if they are undecided and they show up last minute, can they get them at the door?
They can get them at the door. Somebody had asked us about that recently. The reason we put it online is just for the commander's package. It's so you buy your commander's package, you go show up for the commander's package pickup, you're done, you're ready to rock. If you're just going to be going on Friday night, you're going to go to the Friday night preview, or going to go on Saturday or go on Sunday, you don't have to buy it online. You can just get in line and just buy your ticket there, the day of, and just walk in. We're just providing that as a convenience so that if you want to, you can get that pass and you can just walk in, show your pass, and they walk right in and you avoid all the lines. It's like a speed pass, basically, if you buy it online. But no, we don't have a set amount of tickets or anything else like that.
All right. And then panels. So Saturday panels, you got Chicken Fried Toys up first at 10 a.m.
Yep.
Selling the Adventure, the role of G.I. Joe marketing. Tell me about that one.
That's the one that we were talking about. That's going to have it's going to have Vinny DeLeva. It's going to have Kurt Bazigian, and it's going to have Bob Swanson talking about the marketing of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, couple of Kooks panel.
Yep.
It doesn't look like Kook. It looks like something else. I don't want to say, but a couple of Kooks. Yeah.
Hey, if it has a little bit of a subtext there or whatever. But yeah, John and Mike will be at that panel talking. I have no idea what they're going to be talking about. They haven't sent me their what do you call it? Their program that they're going to be doing. We asked all the guys if they can go ahead and send us their PowerPoint presentation or whatever, so we kind of get familiar with it. But it's like I said, those guys have been super involved with the show this year. They helped bring in one of our special guests for the show. They're super heavily involved with the Build a Vehicle with the Hasbro Legends, and so we felt it only right to make sure that they got a little spot to talk about, because they're one of our gold sponsors too. So
okay,
give them a little spot to talk about what they're doing.
All right, and following that, behind the battle inspiration behind G.I. Joe figures and vehicles.
So that's the big one. That's the one that's going to have all of the vehicle designers and all of the figure designers there, and that one will be moderated again by Dan Klingensmith.
Cool. So I mean, you're talking
Dave, you're talking Guy, you're talking Frank, you're talking Greg, you're talking Mark, you're talking Ron, you're talking Kurt.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Yeah.
Don't miss that one. Saturday at 1. And then following that, the call sign longbow panel, right? Call sign longbow.
So that one will be John, and then will be Troy, and they'll be talking about what they're doing for what's coming up for this year for call sign longbow and updates and all that jazz.
3 p.m. behind the scenes of G.I. Joe's first live action micro movie.
Yep, that is going to be moderated by Carson Ataxis.
Okay.
It'll be him and Kirk, and they'll be talking about when they went when Hasbro went up to Canada to do all those live action commercials, where they all continued one off of the other one. Where it had the live action Duke and Cobra Commander and all those guys. So they'll be talking about what went down when they filmed those commercials, and I think it was in Vancouver or something like that. So
very nice. And to finish off Saturday's panels is G.I. Joe Holy Grails, rare finds from the 60s and 70s.
Yep, and that one will be with Ace Allgood. I've known Ace for a very long time. He's pretty experienced as far as the 1960 Joes, 1970 Joes, and he's got a pretty good collection of classic collection prototypes and stuff like that. But this one, he'll be talking about that in particular.
Okay, to kick off the show Sunday, of course, early birds at 9 a.m., but 10 a.m., when the show opens. G.I. Joe animated series panel. What, Chad?
No.
Something in the chat?
Mm-mm. I'm developing Tourette's. I'm sorry, as you were.
Are you watching Reels?
No.
G.I. Joe animated series panel. Who's on that? Who's on that
So
panel?
that one will be with writer and producer Michael Charles Hill, and it'll also have Keone Young, Storm Shadow. It'll have Zach Hoffman, Zartan, Lisa Raggio, Zorana, and Greg Berger, Firefly, Spirit, and Cutter.
Damn, dude, that's a lineup right there.
Yeah.
You got Inside the Process after that, a G.I. Joe PTO product turnover presentation.
That was the one I was talking about earlier. It's PTO, product turnover. So they're gonna be basically demonstrating what a PTO was, and that's the one we'll have the mean dog. That we'll have the mean dog that they'll be doing, kind of walking through that process of what they used to do back in the day. That one is, again, it's kind of more of a little bit of marketing, a little bit of development, stuff like that. But it just kind of gives you a deeper insight of what was going on in the backgrounds for G.I. Joe Real American Hero.
Awesome. And then, of course, the highlight for many fans of this podcast, we got the Valaverse panel, noon on Sunday. Bobby, tell us all about the panel, everything you're talking about, everything you're going to reveal, starting from the beginning, go to the end. You're up.
I mean, I don't even know if anybody's going to come. It's at lunchtime. People are going to be.
Oh, they're going to come.
They're going to come. Don't worry.
Let me see. Let's see. Let me pull up my list of what I'm talking about. Let's see. Where's my? Where is it? Oh, DFW panel. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll share my screen here and.
No, I'm kidding.
What I'm talking about.
Don't give everything away. But I mean, you're dumping a lot of info on everyone. You're just gonna. It's going to be a fire hose of Valaverse reveals and info and
To the face.
What are we
to the
talking
face,
about? We're
neck,
talking.
and chest.
Let's see. We're talking Series 6. We're talking about the new series. We're talking. We'll do a Locust update. We'll do another vehicle reveal. We'll do
Free lunch. Yeah,
something else. We'll do. we'll debut a new license.
Ooh.
Some movie news.
Ooh.
Another secret project. We're going to talk about the exclusives for the rest of the year. And we're going to talk about possibly another licensed deal that I'm working out right now. So,
wow.
Quite a bit.
Now, you're probably not ready to reveal it, but I know people in the chat want to know, will there be a DFW G.I. Joe an action figure show exclusive from Valaverse?
Like, was that a serious question?
He revealed that last week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've given that.
No one wants. Yeah, but no one. I mean, what is it?
Yes, there will be, and
yes,
I will be debuting that figure. Let me look at a calendar. I'm away this week. The rates go up, so then I think we'll do it the week of the 9th through the 13th. So
all right.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks before the show, the announcement of what the exclusive will drop.
Yep.
Awesome.
Are you doing that on your channel or?
I'll probably do it on my social media. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And just like all our other exclusives, it will be in a brown box, and it will have a variant with a quantity of 100.
Okay. Dino Spumoni with the member chat. Thank you. How long after will the panel be uploaded to YouTube?
So I got to talk to Matt about that because, he runs the YouTube channel and the YouTube videos go up on Saturdays, and I don't want to mess with the algorithm. So it might not be until the week after, but we might live stream it, and then you can watch it live, but then it'll go up a week later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. To finish off the Sunday panel schedule is the G.I. Joe Classic Collection Inspiration and Research of the Real Heroes of History.
Yep, that'll be with Kurt Grow.
Sorry, what was that? One more time?
That one's hosted by Kurt Grown.
Okay. Very cool. That rounds it out. That's the show.
Yep, and then the show wraps up at 3 p.m.
Lots of toy vendors will be there.
Quite a bit. Yeah, we have some of our staples that do the show. You know, Cotswold Collectibles will be there. We'll have Boba Joe's, who brings a lot of vintage, and Callsign Longbow will be there. They're going to be bringing their stuff, which they don't have their stuff out yet, but they'll be bringing some Skeletron product. They worked on something with Ben Conway to bring that, and then Destro's Toy Den. I don't know if you guys know Todd. This will be Todd's first show that he's ever done. But we have, you know, the thing that we always try to do to make our show a diverse show is we try to bring G.I. Joes from the 60s, 70s, 80s until now. And then plus other toys too. I mean, if you collected Motu, if you collected Big Jim, if you collected, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we'll have that there. We try to keep the Funko Pops. I call those show killers. I try to keep those people down to a minimum. No hate on Funko Pop collectors. I don't think they're action figures. So I try to keep that going there. So hopefully
they're tchotchkes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of hate mail for that one.
No, it's okay.
But we try to keep it. That's the reason why we put it as a G.I. Joe and action figure show, because I mean, when I grew up, I mean, I had Star Wars, I had G.I. Joe, I had Motu, I had Centurions and stuff like that. So, you know, a little bit for everything on the showroom floor. So
awesome.
I wanted to put out a request to anyone living in the Dallas area that's coming to the show. There is an IKEA that's like 15, 20 minutes from the show. I wanted to get a DTOF to bring to the show to show all the new stuff that we're debuting in the panel. But I don't want to take it home because shipping a DTOF back is just a recipe for disaster. So if anyone is willing to go get a DTOF, I will pay for it, but then you have to take it home after the show. What, Ryan?
They discontinued DTOFs. They don't exist anymore.
Didn't.
They did. But they have like something that's kind of like a DTOF, but smaller.
Okay.
But yeah, DTOFs are not made anymore.
Get out.
But you could pull a Brian Flynn and get a Billy bookcase with glass doors and just leave it at the hotel convention center. And,
well, I'm not a
cry about money problems.
Yeah. I'm not a douchebag.
I think it's called a Bladen. Is it Bladen, the DTOF replacement?
Yeah.
Something like
that.
Well,
that's why I said I'd pay for it, and then whoever brings it to me, they have to take it home.
Or if you own a DTOF, bring it to the show, and Bobby will pay you the price of a DTOF, and then you take it back home with you.
Or there's that, you know. But again, traveling with a DTOF probably isn't the safest thing.
I've done it. I mean, you know, I'm just. All right, so we need a DTOF for something equivalent, but yeah, unfortunately, why did IKEA discontinue those? They were popular. I don't know.
Well, I had always heard that the designer of the DTOF hated the fact that toy fans use it for action figures. He said it was meant for like pieces of art.
That's Boog's fault.
And it's like the thing is, they probably sold more of those than anything else. So how could you discontinue it?
They are the Swedish Kmart of the furniture industry. Like, calm down, IKEA guy. Calm down, Mr. DTOF.
Right.
All right. Look at. I got 8 of them right here. Okay, to the chat. 49er Brian, thanks for the super chat. I hope I get to meet you all at DFW. Well, you might.
Better.
Probably not me, because I'm going to be surrounded by fans the whole time. Not you. But you know, that's how it goes. Sorry, 49er Brian. We've got Maximilian Tucker with 5 3POA podcast memberships. Thank you so much. Let me see who got those. I got to go over here. Flamingo Sauce, AZ Legends 480, Brian Fox, Luca Rocks, Captain KO23. Thank you so much. Maximilian Tucker for 5 3POA podcast memberships. I appreciate you, Max. Everyone should check out his channel and check out Figure Fight Club, which he co-hosts the Friday show over on Figure Fight Club. And then we have, I got to pull this up. This is Bobby's favorite part of the show right here. Cicaden with 10 3POA podcast memberships. Hey, Greg, do you have light-up glasses? The show gets weird, Greg, and I apologize in advance. But here we go. We've got 10 3POA podcast memberships from Cicaden. Slade on Slade got one. Kevin Herbert. Mike Walter. Rodimus Power Toy Collector. Chalor. Deep Space Niner. Stryden. Mr. Time. Rex Jaycox. Gatcha Gray. And don't forget the swap now. I don't know what the... Oh, yes, thank you, Chad. We can't forget the swap, Chad. We got to get to that, because there's a swap meet. Thank you, Cicaden, for 10 3POA podcast memberships. Hi, Bobby. How's it going? All right. Thanks,
Bobby looked
Cicaden.
very amused with that.
Bobby doesn't like that, but...
You're right. They did discontinue the DTOF. That's
Yeah, I know. The fans demand it, Bobby. I apologize. Actually, I don't. Yes, of course, the Chad swap meet. Saturday night.
The second annual chat swap meet.
Second annual.
Oh, big deal.
Oh.
Chad, are you going to miss your swap meet this year like you did last year?
I don't know. Ask the guy next to you.
No. So, Chad, give me the rundown. The Saturday night swap meet with It's Chad.
Greg, what are we doing?
Again, the Trade Winds Lounge that we have exclusive ownership of during the entire weekend, we will be having the second annual It's Chad swap meet there from 7 o'clock until I would say tentatively until 8:30. And it might go even longer than that. It depends upon, there is something that we are still working on for Saturday night. That it deals with, I'll just say, G.I. Joe trivia. We're still working it out. In fact, I was on the phone with Brian Savage earlier to work on that. So if we have the if we have the trivia, the swap meet will probably be ending at 8:30 and continue on with the trivia. Hell, I don't give a shit. If you're doing the trivia, you can you can still do the swap meet. It's a big room. It's a really big room. It's got a full bar in there, and yeah, I'll send you some pictures, and we've shared them before. But yeah, 8:30, 8 o'clock. If it kicks off earlier, even better. We try to schedule it, we try to schedule it at 7 to kind of get everybody a chance to go out and have dinner and stuff like that. So if it starts at 6:30, even better. I think we did have some people there earlier too. So yeah.
Getting the choice spots. The swap went really well last year. I mean, granted, I wasn't there for the whole thing, and just Jeff, kind of helped out with that because I went to dinner with these guys and some other awesome people. But yeah, what is it, Greg? Bring a box or a tote?
Yeah, what we recommend for people to do, and here's the deal, and this is the clarification. You can be a commander's package holder. You can be an attendee at the show. You could just come if you want to, just for the swap meet. You don't have to buy a ticket. You can just come. If you live in the DFW area, just come for the swap meet. We ask that you bring one box or one tote. And the reason for that is we want to give everyone an equal opportunity to be able to sell and not have a person set up a booth at the swap meet like we've had in the past. Well, not in past our show. At Joe Lanta many, many moons ago, we had a guy who set up his entire booth in the hotel foyer. And not cool. And right by the elevator. So we
buy,
think
sell, trade, right? Yeah.
Buy, sell, trade, definitely.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
and just bring that stuff, and it'll be I like it. The swap meets they go back so far, with diehard toy collectors, action figure collectors, show collectors. It's just kind of part of the process, and I've always enjoyed it. And we had a blast with it last year, and that's what we brought it back for 2025.
I'm bringing a whole case of Funko Pops, a whole tote. So
you knock yourself out, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm bringing a bunch of Super 7 Joe stuff.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of the Lord scale.
It's okay. I'll be bringing a 9mm with 15 rounds.
Now that's a swap.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, let's see those Funko Pops move.
Let's see. You're going to bring a 9mm, then I'm going to bring my 410 Judge. On and on. Right.
Bring my Hellcat.
I'll bring my Ma Dude. Okay.
You got a 410 Judge?
Yeah.
I bought one of those for my dad for when he retired.
Hell yeah.
A lot of fun, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Chad, you forget I live in Texas. We own 50 caliber machine guns down here. We don't care.
That's good time.
It's called a caliber 50. It's fine.
Yeah. I call it a Ma Deuce, and that's why they have the saying called "Don't mess with Texas."
Mm-hmm.
Bring all your guns, Texas, man. We'll go out to the range and go do some shooting, man. I need to burn some 223. So.
Well, before we get put on a government watch list, let's go to the chat. How about that? Joey says, new fan of Bobby and the Valaverse. I enjoy his YouTube channel. Totally want that pink soldier and love the pink vehicle also.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, pink steel brigade. Pink steel brigades on Valaverse.com. The pink Vanguard, I think we have like 4 left.
Oh, I thought you sold out.
Well, there's like kind of 4 that I kept that I'm like, well, I could let them go.
You got to keep one for yourself.
Well, yeah, I won, but
yeah, okay. Yeah. All righty. Figure Fight Club. I'll be with the super chat. Thank you. He says, loved my note on my packing slip on my order. Be prepared. Did you write the note or did someone else?
Dude, I don't see the orders, man.
Yeah.
What
did it say?
I got too big for that.
Yeah. He's got people now. Okay, he's got people that do that.
Listen, guys, if you want new stuff to come out, you got to let me work. So I can't do the orders. So I got to let other people do the orders so I can work.
Good job, Sal. I'm sure Sal wrote something on there just obscene.
Yeah.
Jeff Morris says the deluxe link is available at BBTS. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. I'm not buying that. Not for a 15-year-old. If I wanted it, I'd get it for me. Impossible Pie with the 22-month tater chat. Thank you, Mr. Pie. I hope everyone has a great time at DFW this year. 3POA for life. Thank you. 3POA for life. All right. Impossible Pie then sends a super chat. Thank you so much. Canadian $5, which is about 30 cents. He says, Bobby, your Chrome Head Steel Brigade figure is awesome. It's time for action.
Thanks, man. Yeah, my favorite figure so far.
Thank
Although
you,
that might get unseated very quickly.
Ooh. Cannot wait. I told some fellow hooligans, I said they're not ready for DFW in the panel and what's coming. I said you're not ready. They said, well, we think we're ready. I said, no, you're not ready.
Yeah, like put it this way. The DFW exclusive, they're not ready for. And then it's like the shit that I got coming in the panel, it's like,
oh my God.
Dude, like there's no level of preparation you can have for it.
Get the KY. It's going down. Okay. What's next? We got Curb Stomp Films. Thanks for the super chat, Curb Stomp. Not going to make it to DFW, but I hope everyone who goes, I hope everyone who gets to go has a blast and maybe pick me up a Valaverse exclusive. Maybe. I'm sure you can find someone that will do that for you.
I got you, Curb Stomp.
There you go. Chad got you. Bobby has banned me from buying extras for other people. So
yeah, you think Chad's going to be able to buy extras for anybody?
I mean, he did last year.
Yeah, and I stole his box from him.
Yeah, that's right.
He stole my box.
We got HGC here. Bobby gonna be serving Action Force branded pizza and chicken nugs at the panel.
Yep.
It is
Nuggies.
lunchtime. Yeah. The fans might be a bit peckish. Figure Fight Club says DFW exclusive is limited to purchase? Question mark.
Only for you.
One per obby. Joey 75-220 says I'm new to Action Force, so are there comic books? Check out the website,
There were comic books. Yeah, we have a few left on the site. We're working on bringing them back.
There is a collected trade that is sold out, but
yeah,
might look around for that one.
Yeah, I think I might bring the trade back while we're waiting for our publisher announcement.
All right, cool. Look at that little tease. Publisher announcement. Got Fred asking rates going up. Is there going to be a price increase? You did mention something about rates going up.
Wraith.
The Wraith.
Wraith. He said
up.
Wraith.
Yeah,
Fred.
no Wraith.
Suka answered that right after he asked it.
Okay.
So he squared it away.
Yeah. Let me unstar that then. Okay. HGC with the $20 super chat. Thank you. He says Boog discontinued DTOFs. Well, how dare he? I wish he hadn't have done that.
I'm
'Cause I could use
surprised he
another one.
discounted something he invented.
Yeah, HGC, thank you for the very generous super chat, man. I appreciate you.
Speak-
Eric
speaking-
Alp.
Hey,
Go ahead.
speaking of, did you happen to see Elite Legends post today?
His YouTube video?
No.
No, he put a
His
post up on
story.
Instagram.
Yeah.
It was
I didn't
epic.
see it.
It
I
was
didn't see it.
absolutely epic.
I'll have to
Chat's
go check it
alright.
out.
Oh, it's so good.
Hey, real quick, speaking of Elite Legend, he's going to join me on the show on Wednesday night this week, this coming Wednesday show. So
Rad.
be here for that. He's a funny guy, and he's kind of loosening up on the live streams now. He's getting a little more comfortable with them. So
Yeah. He's getting his feet wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
People still watch that Wednesday show?
Dude, I gotta tell you, the last Wednesday show outdid the previous Saturday show. So
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
I had Chad on. It was Chad. It,
Well,
was,
yeah, I wasn't on
baby.
Saturday. That's why.
it wasn't the thumbnail with Brian Flynn on it
Let's
with
let's
googly
put an
eyes. It wasn't
asterisk
that at all.
Next to that, okay. Come on, let's be real here.
Eric Alfred Abel is here. What's up, Eric? He says, I can see what I can do for you if you like. I think he's talking about the DTOF.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. That's awesome, Eric. If you could make that happen, man, that'd be great. Suka, I'm bringing a pallet of Sydney Sweeney bath soap. No. Did you guys see that she's making?
Yeah.
No,
Dude,
thanks. That
those
is
things-
weird.
Wait till you see those things on the secondary market.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
didn't Amaranth do that first?
yes.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing now? Keep your
people are
skanky
weird,
bathwater to
dude.
yourself.
Takes money.
It does, yeah. Ken's Toys with the member chat. Thank you, Ken. He says, Bobby, you can tell me I'm not like LP. I can keep a secret.
Yeah.
I've kept all the secrets. I was like,
I trust no man.
thank you, Ken. Eric Alfred Abel. Oh yeah, there you go. He messaged you on IG.
Okay.
Thanks for the tater chat, Eric. Keys Collects is here. Member for 14 months. I'll be able to hang out this year. Can't wait. If you need extra hands, I'm close. No Diddy.
Gotta have a little ditty. Like just a just a little.
Bobby requires X amount of Diddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keys Collects. And then Tyler Lalone, all the way from Canada, with the super chat. Thank you, Tyler. I hope we get an M224 mortar in the line someday.
Maybe.
Maybe. You gotta do
Get
your
that base
copyright, trademark, maybe.
No, because that's for like things I'm actually working on.
Okay, gotcha. So not the official maybe.
Not the official maybe.
Call me maybe.
Yeah.
Fasatino93 with the super chat. Thank you, sir. What's up, LP? You caved with the Fantastic Four wave? I sure did. No, I will not buy that wave until I see the movie. If the movie blows me away, of course I'll buy the figures for it, because that's the disease I have. I see
You've been
something I
seeing
like.
all the stuff about the reshoots.
No, I don't follow all that stuff.
I'm hearing, I heard the test screenings were not good.
Hmm.
Yeah. They were disastrously bad. Yeah, they didn't even look at the frickin' comment cards. So, I mean, the sky's not falling. It's just everybody has opinions. Whatever.
No, hey, maybe it'll suck. I don't know. We'll find out. If the movie is good and it blows me away, then I'll buy the figures. If not, easy pass.
That Silver Surfette looks like shit.
Always need stock.
Dude, that CG looked bad, dude. And then we've got Abby with the super chat. Thank you, Abby. Is the Pink Vanguard going to be at DFW?
If there is, you can't buy anymore. You've reached your limit.
How many did he get?
I think he's got 3 or 4 now, but he cannot buy anymore. I'm cutting him off.
You are cut off, Abby. Unless you send a $500 super chat, then we'll talk. Okay.
No, because he'll do it, and then I'm on the hook for your shit.
Won't be the first time.
Tell me about it.
That's the racket right there.
All right. Am I missing anything? I think we covered everything. There is the custom figure contest and the custom diorama contest. Check out dfwjoeshow.com for details on that.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, thanks so much for joining us. Had a great time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Can't wait. It's like a month away. We're all going to be hanging out.
Yeah.
Drinking heavily, doing illicit drugs, all kinds of good stuff. No, yeah. I'm kidding, of course. Maybe.
Hookers and blow, man. Hookers and blow.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. No.
And dollies.
Sorry, dear. Oh, no, she left. Okay. That's all I got. Bobby, anything? What do you got?
I don't think I have anything.
All right. Chad?
I have Scuba Pete and M Vargo 97 on tomorrow. We're going to talk about all the toys that we couldn't get or didn't know about when we were kids, because the internet didn't exist, that, we're all blowing all of our adult disposable income on these days.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sweet.
And then Zakanan's on the pregame with me, so.
In at the last minute, Jeremy J with the super chat. Thank you, Jeremy. Bobby, am I still blacklisted?
Only if you wear an AWOC shirt. or a Skeletron shirt. Don't bring any of that bullshit here. Nope.
Got him. Thank you, Jeremy. Oh my goodness, Mike Espinosa, Espo, with the tater chat. Thank you. The new Hasbro Sue Storm looks like she's deflecting the thing spooge. It's either clobbering time or bang o'clock.
Damn.
Thank you, Espo.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well, my friend. All right. Oh my goodness, another one. Pablito. Thank you, Pablito, for the very generous super chat. Bobby, looking forward to the Mexico tease, since I am a big Laser Dickies fan. Hey, what's up, fool? Coming up from San Antonio, popping my cherry for DFW. Looking forward to see Ninja, Zakanan, Laser, because I have become a big fan. Well, thank you so much, Pablito.
You might be seeing that full reveal at DFW, baby.
Yes, and keep in mind, it was all my idea. So,
fuck that.
Okay. Thank you, Pablito.
Wait.
Thank you, everyone.
All of it was your idea?
I don't know.
Or that one reveal was your idea? Huh? What?
We'll talk more later when it's shown. If I'm not given proper credit, I might need a new co-host, Chad. Just saying.
Good. I wouldn't mind having my Saturday nights back.
You show up like once a month now. Come on. Thought we were friends. Greg, seriously, it was a pleasure having you on. Can't wait for the show. It's going to be a blast. Monday night, 6:30 p.m., I'll be on with Cutthroat Comics, talking about comic books. And then, like I said, Wednesday, me and Elite Legend hanging out right here, 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's all I got. And Bobby, since you were late...
No, don't make me do the outro. No.
You get to sign us out. Oh! You get to sign us out since you were... Oh! You can't do that! No. All right, Chad. Since he's being a butt, sign us out.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego?